Hello and Assalamu alaikum to all of you and welcome to your math class. And today is your second lesson of fractions. So this is the same worksheet we have been doing in the last class. This is question number 9 and let's start doing this. In a bag there are red, green and purple counters. 3/8 of the counters are red and 1/6 of the counters are green. So what we need to do, we need to find the fraction of the counters which are purple. So the given one are the red and green. So what we can do, we can add the fractions 3/8 and 1/6. Okay. So for adding these fractions, what we need to do, again, you need to make the denominators equal. Alright, so here you have 8 and 6. You can't find 8 in the times table of 6. So that's why what else you need to do, you have to multiply both numbers with each other, which is gonna give you 48. Okay, so the same thing I'm going to do in the question, writing my first fraction as it is and then multiplying by the second fraction's bottom number, which is 6 in the top, in the bottom. And for the second one, the same thing I'm going to repeat is that you are going to multiply it by the first fraction's bottom number, which is 8. Okay, so now what we have is 3 times 6 is 18 and 8 times 6 is 48. Okay, so now here you have 8 and 6 times 8 is 48. Okay, what you need to do is now only add 18 plus 18 plus 8, sorry, and you will get 26 over here. So is it your answer? No, it's not your answer yet, because this is again the half of your answer. Still we need to do the other thing, that is simplification. What you need to do, simplify your fraction, and we also did in the last class. And I said that we are going to continue it, so that's why don't need to be worried, you're going to learn it very soon. Okay, so 26, 48, how you can do this, let's do it. So it's 26 and 48 in the bottom. So how to simplify your fraction, I want to tell you that what is HCF. HCF means highest common factor. What's that? Highest common factor. Now factor is a number which can divide any number. For example, if I ask you that 2 is the factor of 26 or not, is the factor of 26 or not, how can you tell me? You can divide 26 by 2. If it fully divides, means it has no remainder, then 2 is the factor of 26. Let's try doing this. 2 times 1 is 2, and then 2 times 3 is 6. Look at, we got no remainder and the answer is 13. It means 2 is the factor of 26, isn't so? Okay, so now what you have to do, you can do some practice by telling me that 6 is the factor of 26 or not. The same way you have to use divide 26 by 6 and then tell me that can 6 divide 26 without any remainder or not. Okay, you can pause the video and try yourself. Alright, so after coming back, I hope so that you are doing in the same way I'm saying, because this is very necessary. If you pause the video, first try yourself, then you can follow me. Okay, so 26 is not in the times table of 6, because 6 times 3 is 18, 6 times 4 is 24, and 6 times 5 is 30. So that's why there is no 26 in the 6 times table. So it means 26 cannot be divided fully by 6. So 6 is not the factor of 26. Okay, so in the same way you can find that is 8 factor of 26 or not. Do it yourself and then tell your answer. The same way you have to do, go in the times table of 8 and try to find 26. So you know 8 times 3 is 24, means that 8 is not the factor of 26. So I'm writing here now the factors of 26, and you know 1 is the factor of every number, and you have just seen that 2 is the factor of 26, and when you will try practice you will come to know that only 13 is the factor of 26, and then 26 of course. So these are the only factors which 26 have. Now coming towards 48, what you need to do, try find the factors of 48. Try dividing it by 2. 2 times 2 is 4 and 2 times 4 is 8. So it is dividing 48 without any remainder. It means that 2 is the factor of 48. So one common factor you have found, that is 2. Okay, now going towards the more numbers, but remember we need the common factor which is same for 26 and 48. Alright, so we know that we can use only 13 and 26, so that's why I don't need to go into too many factors of 48, because I can choose only 1, 2, 13 or 26. So I got my same number, that is 2, and you know that 13 is not the factor of 48. Okay, and then 26 is also not the factor of 48. So that's why we have only one common factor, and which is 2. It means you can divide both of your numbers by 2. How? Let's do it here. We have 26 and 48 over here. Cancel it like this, divide both numbers by 2. 2 times 1 is 2 and 2 times 3 is 6. Then for 48 what you will do, 2 times 2 is 4 and 2 times 4 is 8. So this is the answer of red and green counters. But you know that we need to find purple counters fraction. You know the sum of the fraction is equals to 1. So when you have sum of the fraction and you know that total are the red, green and purple, all are equals to, all the fractions are equals to 1, whereas we know the answer of these are 13, 24, and you need to know the purple one. So how can you find? You can take away 13, 24 from 1. The same way we have been doing, 1 minus 13, 24. And now again you have to make the denominators equal. So now you will say that there was no denominator in the 1. When a number have no denominator, it means the denominator is equals to 1. Okay, so the same thing we have done over here. We have written 1 under 1. So now how can you make 1 equals to 24? You know that 1 times 24 equals to 24. So now which number you are going to multiply by this fraction is 24. Okay, so 1 times 24 in the top and 1 times 24 in the bottom, and the second fraction is not gonna change. So now you got here 24, 24 minus 13, 24. Okay, so now you have same denominators. Now you can take away 13 from 24. So 24 minus 13 is gonna give you 4 minus 3 will give you 1, and 2 minus 1 will give you 1. So it's 11, 24. So because 11 is a prime number and 24 is not in the times table of 11, so this is your simplified fraction. Okay, so we don't need to simplify it any further. Now look at question number 10, which is Matthew is training for a race. He runs 3 days in 1 week. Okay, so these are the miles on Monday and 1 2/3 for Thursday, and then for Sunday. So what we need to do, he said that work out how far Matthew ran in total. So it means we need to add all of them. Okay, so if you look at them, that there are all mixed fractions. So first we need to convert them into improper fraction. Okay, so let's do it first and change them into improper fraction. Okay, so first one is the 1.5. I'm writing it over here, 1.5. And the second one is 1 2/3. Third one is 2/1/5. So simply we are going to change them into improper fraction, writing your bottom numbers equal. So remember, we need to add them. Okay, so writing all the bottom numbers equal, because this is mixed fraction. So now starting from the bottom number, which is 2, going towards right, and what you need to do, multiply. 2 times 1 is 2, and then add 1 in your answer, that is 2 plus 1 is 3. Okay, so now same thing repeat over here. 3 times 1 is 3, and then plus 2 is going to give you 5. Same thing for the third fraction. 5 times 2 is 10, and then you have to add 1 in this, which is going to give you 11. Now look at, we have changed all the fractions into improper fractions, which denominators are smaller than the numerators. Okay, so now there are 3 fractions you need to add. How can you add them? You can add them directly together, but it's gonna be difficult for you. So I would suggest you for adding first 2 fractions, and then you can add the third fraction. Okay, let's do it. First I'm going to do the first 2 fractions, and which is 3 2 and 5/3. So later we can add 11 5s in this. Okay, so 3 2 and 5 3 both are the prime numbers. What we need to do, we need to multiply them. So here in the bottom we need to multiply both with each other. That is 2 times 3 or 3 times 2 is the same thing. So the same operation you need to do in the top. Same thing you need to do in the top. Okay, so now you got like 3 times 3 is 9, and 2 times 3 is 6, and 5 times 2 is 10, 3 times 2 is 6. Now 9 plus 10 is 9 plus 10 is 19, and 6 and 11 5s. 19 6 and 11 5s. Now we can add them. How we can add them? 6 times 5 and 5 times 6. To make the denominators equal, you need to multiply the numbers with each other, because 5 is a prime number. So the same thing you have done in the bottom, you will do in the top. We are going to multiply with 5 in the top. Okay, and now we can find the answer. 19 times 5 is 95, and 6 times 5 is 30. 11 times 6 is 66, and 5 times 6 is 30. Now what you can do, you can add 95 and 66, which will give you 161, and in the bottom you will get 30. After adding all these fractions, you are going to get 161/30. So now what we can do, if you will look over the denominator and numerator, you will come to know that 161 is bigger than 30. What that means is, it means that this is an improper fraction. So you can use your bus stop method to solve this. Okay. Alright, so I'm going to use here using bus stop method, 161 inside and 30 outside. So now the same way you have been doing, you need to find a number which is near to 161, and that is 30 times 5, 150. Okay, so 30 times 5, 150, and it's gonna give you 6 minus 5, 1, and here 11 is your remainder. Okay, so how can we write our mixed fraction? Bottom number is not going to change, this number 30 is not going to change, and what will be written on the top is the remainder, that is 11, and in the side you will write the top number, which is 5. So this is your answer now. Okay, so now let's try doing question number 11. What it is saying, Martin is walking from Antrim to Randallstown. So here he needs to come from this way here. Okay, so now what they are asking you in part A, they are saying that you need to work out distance from Antrim to Randallstown, means from here, from Antrim to Randallstown. So when you are coming from Antrim and you are going here to Randallstown, so it means you need to add up the distance from here and the all way towards Randallstown. So what is the distance over here is 3 1/3, and the second one is 1 3/4. So first of all, I am going to solve this mixed fraction into improper fraction. So you know how to do this. Your bottom number is not going to change, and 3 times 3 is 9, plus 1 is gonna give you 10. Same way here, bottom number will remain same, that is 4, and 4 times 1 is 4, and then you have to add 3 in this. 4 plus 3 is gonna give you 7. So now you need to add these two fractions. Again, we need to make the denominators equal. So how we can do that? We can multiply both numbers with each other. So because 3 is a prime number here. Okay, so 4 times 3 and 7 times 3. So in the second fraction, same action you have to do. What is the first fraction's bottom number? 4. So 10 times 4 and 3 times 4. So now we will have 7 times 3 is 21. And in the denominator you are going to have 12. Then 10 times 4 is 40 and 12. So when you will add 21 and 40, you will get 61 divided by 12. Again, if you look at here, you have an improper fraction. So what we can do here? Okay, so the number was 61 and 12. So 12 times 5 is 60. All right, and 1 is the remainder. Now change it into mixed fraction. So the bottom number is 12 and the top number is 1 and the side one is 5. So 5, 1, 12 is your final answer. Okay, so now look at the second part. He says that work out the distance from the Randallstown to Toome. So if you look at here carefully, Randallstown and Toome are at same place. If you are here and you need to go here, so it means only this distance you need to cover. Okay, only this distance you need to cover. In the second part, he's asking for you the distance from Randallstown to Toome. So now look into this, that Randallstown and Toome are at same place. Okay, so what we need to do, we need to find only this distance. So how we can find, if I take away this one from this one, so we can get this one distance. So for that, what we need to do, we need to take away 9 1/4 and 1 3/4. So first what we need to do, of course we have to change this mixed fraction into improper fraction. That is 4 times 9 is 36 plus 1 is 37, and then 4 times 1 is 4 plus 3 is 7. So now already we have same denominators. Now if you will take away 37 minus 7 is gonna give you 34. So again now we have improper fraction. So what we can do? We can divide it by using bus stop method. Okay. So you know that 4 times 7 is 28 and your remainder is 2. So now what will be your answer? Your bottom number is not gonna change. That will remain 4, and on the top you will write remainder, and in the side you will write 7. Okay, so now this is your final answer. Okay guys, so it was your last question of today's lesson, and inshallah we'll meet tomorrow again with the next lesson.